Welcome back to my 5th part in my 6-part series where I'm going to review every traditional Sonic game for the Virtual Console. This time we're going to embark on Sonic's most exciting adventure so far. It's so big it takes 2 games to complete. However, since they're separated, we're going to do this in 2 parts. Back in the day, I used to be very good at this game, but unfortunately I think I've gotten a little bit rusty because I couldn't get past a couple stages. But luckily I do remember the game, but I just can't show most of it. There is a stage select code, but I'll be darned if I can get it to work. Now the story starts out like this. Sonic is flying around with Tails and decides to go supersonic and speed through a jungle area, where he trips like an idiot and loses all his Chaos Emeralds. Knuckles is nearby and steals them, so Sonic has to go get them back from Knuckles and save the day. The level designs were fantastic. The levels didn't just feel like one random level after another. It felt like we were traveling through a story. There were twists and turns in the levels in ways you might not expect. One of the more interesting things about the game is that the levels start out where you end the previous one, and I thought that was a very cool addition. I do think the game had the best and most varied game design of the entire series. There were so many different areas that Sonic and Tails could go through, yet they all seemed right in flow and level design. Now the levels break down into 2 acts. The first one ends in a mini-boss fight, and the second act ends with the fight with Robotnik. So don't be expecting any levels where you're going to blast through it to the end, as there's always a challenge at the end. Now the controls are pretty tight in this game. Not only does Sonic's awesome spin dash move return, but he now has a new move that works really well. When Sonic is jumping, he can produce a force field one time while in the air. I found it useful when enemies would just suddenly pop up. I did wish it lasted just a bit longer than a split second, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Just like in Sonic 2, there's a multiplayer aspect to the game. A second player can control Tails in the single player game. But there is also an expanded competition mode. These modes are basically just the same thing, having you racing through small courses over and over again. I found it tedious and really lame. There was not one course that I found interesting to re-race, and this competition mode is easily the worst thing about this game. The second worst thing are the bonus stages. And yes, there are bonus stages in this one. This time they have you maneuvering through this weird world where you move like a tank, where you have to light things up to different colors. And it was all pretty dumb. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is only half a game, but the half that you get to play is a lot of fun, and the sense of speed really seems to have gotten faster in this game. Now in my final part of this multi-part series, we're going to team up with a new frenemy when I review Sonic and Knuckles for the Sega Genesis. See you next time.